Welcome to Send Me.
Most people don't actually understand how important graphic and visual arts are, because that is important. A prophet to the future.
Welcome to Send Me.
E voglio veramente ringraziarvi tutti per aver ascoltato.
God bless you.
My number one advice is that whatever you decide to do, put God first. God is just going to make everything happen for you.
Welcome to Send Me.
Hello, and welcome to Send Me. We promote the gospel of Jesus Christ. Join us every Tuesday for Prayer Line. You can download our free app, Send Me Radio, from the Google and iTunes store, or log on to our website at www.sendme.co.uk. That's www.sends.co.uk.
Check out our newest magazine, Digital Ink, for inspiration and stories, testimonies, and the latest on what's happening. That's digitalhink.com. digitalhink.com.
Good day, everybody. My name is William Clinton, Omario Bebor. Buongiorno a tutti, and Waya Bilau.
Welcome to Send Me.
Thank you for listening to Send Me Radio. Grazie per aver ascoltato Send Me Radio.
You're listening to Send Me Radio?
7 days a week.
Wow, no day off.
Nope, 51 weeks of the year.
Wow.
Yep.
It's time to get up, go out, do something.
The only way you'll get anything out of life, boss, is to work.
That's true. Don't waste a good brain, eh?
That is correct. Working brain is a healthy brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
It don't slow you down in life.
Tune to Send Me Radio.
You're tuned to Send Me Radio.
Wow, no day off.
Nope. Now.
So good day to everyone. Buongiorno a tutti, and wabiru.
Hello and welcome to Send Me Radio. You can download our free app from the iTunes and Google Play Store. We also have a new magazine called Digital Hink, which is coming very soon. You can log on to that website at www.digitalhink.com. Today we have a very promising young man with us. His name is Brother William, and we're going to talk a little bit to him about his Christian challenges and also his experience at school. I'm going to hand over to him. Brother William, welcome to Send Me Radio, and thank you so much for taking the time to call in and speak to us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I'm just going to allow you to just introduce yourself to our listeners. I know that you speak quite a few different languages, so I'm going to ask you to greet our listeners in Italy, because we have quite a large amount of listeners that listen in from Italy, and I'm also going to ask you to greet your listeners or our listeners in Nigeria.
Of course. Good day, everybody. My name is William Clinton, Omario Bebor. Buongiorno a tutti, and Waya Bilau.
Okay. Oh, Brother William, you reside in Italy, right? You work?
Yes.
Yeah, but you're currently studying here in London.
Yes.
Okay, so what is your...
For about 2 years now.
Oh, really? What are you studying?
I am studying graphic design right now.
Okay, so what's that like?
Well, it's a very innovative and creative course that keeps the student thinking constantly. There's never a dull moment, and it's a very exciting course for anyone to be studying, frankly.
Okay, so why did you choose that career?
Well, I chose it because, right from when I was a child, I've always been interested with visual art. So that includes painting, television, movies, and even printed magazines. I've always been very fascinated by them and the look of them. And it just felt like a very natural way to go when I decided to choose a course for university.
Oh, okay. All right. So, we're going to come back to that in a bit. But let me first of all ask you, where are you originally from?
Yeah, I am originally from Nigeria. I was born in Benin City, but then I moved to Italy with my family when I was 9.
Okay, so you speak fluent Italian?
Yes.
Where in Italy do you reside?
I reside in a small town called Cameri, close to Novara, kind of halfway between Turin and Milan. Very tiny place.
Okay, so are you a Christian?
Yes.
So how long have you been saved?
I've been saved, thankfully, for the whole of my life. I was born into Christianity and never looked back.
Oh, that's great. What is your best childhood memory, Brother William?
Oh, I'm really, really grateful to God that I had a very happy childhood. My parents never allowed me or my siblings to lack or anything, but like I think my greatest childhood memory was when the first time me, my mom, my sister, and my father lived under the same roof for the first time, and that was when I was 9 when we moved to Italy. That's, I think, my favorite childhood memory.
So which school did you attend, and which teacher in school made the most impact on you, and also why?
I only attended primary school in Italy till primary 5, but then I moved to Italy, most of all my education in Italy. And so because me and my family, we moved to a different city while we're in Italy, I kind of had like a different share of different kind of schools. And in each and every one of the schools, I've always had a very close relationship with at least one or two of the teachers. I had a teacher that influenced me in a positive way, and I had a teacher who also like made me better, but influenced me in a sort of negative way. But like one of the teachers that had a great impact on me was the teacher I had in my high school in Italy. She was teaching me arts and design, and she saw a talent in me from my first year and followed me every step of the way and guided me for me to be able to fulfill my maximum potential, and I was able to do that. And I feel very grateful to her for the help that she gave to me during my years in high school.
So in a way, she influenced your career path?
Yes. It was, she was a great creative and moral influence in me while I was studying.
Okay, so what was the most important thing that she taught you in school?
Well, the most important thing that she taught me, I guess, was the fact that she understood me immediately. Thing that I have been lacking from my other teachers in the past. She understood what kind of person I am and where I was coming from, and she allowed me to be able to embrace the studies in my way. And she pushed me where I was supposed to be pushed. Sometimes I would come up with an idea and put it down on paper, and she would know that that is not as good as I do it, and she would push me further to be able to do the best of my capabilities. And that's the best thing that I think she did for me.
Yeah, but that's very good, because, it's always important for teachers to recognize, children's talents while they're coming to school, because, that can also shape their career path. So it was very good that your teacher recognized that talent in you from such an early age and helped you to develop.
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, I believe it's one of the skills that a teacher must have in their repertoire, to be able to identify what kind of students they are trying to teach.
That's so true.
And understand them as well, yeah.
You mentioned earlier on that you're doing graphic art in school, and I think I remember asking you, why did you choose that profession? So can you elaborate just a little bit more on that for us?
Yeah, since I was a child, my parents and everyone around me always noticed that I had a knack for drawing, and I always had a very good eye when it came to anything visual. And since I was in middle school in Italy, I actually got a lot better at painting and drawing, and I showed a lot of interest into it. And my parents felt that me going into an arts-oriented high school would have been a natural fit for me, and it turned out to be a very perfect choice.
So what are some of the challenges that you face on this course? Because now you're no longer in Italy at the moment, you're studying in London. So I'm figuring that must be a great challenge for you, being away from your family and in a new environment. So what are some of the challenges that you face during this course, away from your family here in London?
Well, of course, the biggest challenge is the fact of being away from your family for the first time in your entire life, and starting to have to provide and take care of yourself. That's obviously the biggest challenge, and the change of environment was also huge for me. But in terms of the course and the work in itself, I believe the biggest challenge is the energy. It's a course that requires a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm, and there's no way you can cut corners in this kind of course. It's not just enough to just study and know the answers when the exams come. It's all about how much you invested into the work, and it shows when you're invested and when you're passionate about what you're doing. It's a course that requires a lot of mental and physical passion to be able to bring to fruition.
Constantly have to be coming up with new creative ideas, right?
Yes, exactly. And every idea has to be original. It has to come from you, and it has to be something that you care about, and something that when you show to everybody else can understand. It's not just enough to create something beautiful nowadays. You have to create something that makes sense and something that everyone can get behind.
So how long does this course take, and how difficult is it to get into the program?
Well, the course, there is an undergraduate course which is 3 years, and there's also a master's course that is 2 years, depending on whatever the student decides to go on about after they finish. But to be able to get into the course, student has to have some basic drawing skills, a good visual eye, and a general understanding of culture and of medias, and also a good understanding of the usage of computers and the design program. Because nowadays, most of all the creativity goes into the computer, and understanding cultural differences and being able to mix all of that to create something socially aware and socially pertinent. It's a course that requires quite a lot of knowledge about the world and how the world works, and what people think and what people want and what people understand.
So are you currently on the undergraduate or on the master's program?
I'm still on the undergraduate program.
Are you planning on progressing to the master's program when you're through this, or are you planning on going straight into, working well?
I would very much love to do a master's program, but if God willing and I'm privileged enough to get a job immediately after the undergraduate program, I would embrace it immediately. I always feel that the best way to learn is to work.
So what do you feel most proud of? Any projects or campaigns that you're working on currently that you feel most proud of during this program, or any other aspect of your life that you'd like to share with us?
I feel very privileged to have been part of so many different things, and there are many things that I've been able to achieve by the grace of God that I feel very, very proud of till today. The moments that defined me as a person and as a Christian. One of the things I am most proud of personally is when I was able to pass my state exam in Italy that gave me the license and certificate to be able to come and study over here in London. And it wasn't just the fact that I was able to pass it, but the fact that I was able to get a grade that was higher than I could ever imagine. And I did a lot better than that I was praying for. And that was one of the things I'm most proud of. My family was proud of me, and it was one of the moments that made me understand that I can really become someone important in my future.
That's really good, because it's so important for people to dream and actually be able to, live in your dream.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a lesson my parents have always been teaching me since I was little. They've always taught me to be satisfied and contented with what I have, but they always taught me to know how to dream big, to think big, to never think of myself as a small person, and to always think of myself as the smartest person in the room. And that gives an advantage wherever I go, and it also gives me an advantage on the course I do, and how I speak to people, and how I do
It's also important to have a good supportive, backages, because your family sounds very supportive.
Yes. I'm so glad and privileged to have great parents that I have, because no matter how crazy some of my ideas may be, they've always been able to see past other things to be able to understand that there are some things that I need that would be important for me to be able to further myself as a person and as a student. And they've always supported me in whatever they knew I could do very well, and I'm very proud of that.
So I think you have answered my next question, because I was about to ask you what was the most difficult period in your life and how did you deal with it. So, I'm assuming that one of the most difficult periods in your life was to leave your family and come all the way to London to study.
Yeah, and obviously I had a very difficult time moving here to London. I think, to be honest, just over a year ago now was probably the most difficult time in my life, mostly financially and academically. Since I moved here by myself, I have to take care of myself and take care of my studies. And it was the first time in my life that I was failing to be able to take care of my responsibilities. It was also a very important time for me, because it was a time that helped me to grow as a person, to learn from my mistakes, and I feel that the only way I was able to get through that period of time was through prayers and understanding from the part of my parents and my family. And also I had a lot of help from my friends here at university who also understand what I was going through. And overall, the main way I think I was able to deal with it was the fact that I knew that this wasn't me, and I knew I could do a lot better than this. It was just a question of finding where to start from again. It was a way for me to start over.
That you said that, because even though London is such a big city and it's so busy, but it's also very easy to get lonely in a city like this, as people are constantly going, and at times hardly to even ask how you're doing. So it must be and I can tell, I know it's very difficult being a student in another country, so far away from home and far away from your friends. And
I totally agree with that. I think it's just the grace of God has followed me to be, and the Holy Spirit has always directed me to the right people at the right time. London, obviously, being a very big place, there are lots of people that you get to meet, and not everybody is going to be a plus or a good thing to your life. I think my best quality is the fact that I always see the best in people. I always give every new person I meet, I always regard them with the highest respect and with the highest breath of love that I can give that person to kind of live up to that level of respect that I can give them. And I feel like my best quality is that I always look for the best in people and know how to use that to help them and also help myself. That's a very good question. Well, I would say in terms of admiration, and I would say my parents. My parents are the two people that I admire the most in my entire life because they've been absolutely two perfect examples of everything that I hope to be able to accomplish and become in my life. They've always taught me in the best way possible. And it's never been easy for them. I can regard myself as the best son in the world. But I would never be able to forget the lessons that they taught me, led a life that I truly hope and aspire to at least be close to. My parents have always tried as much as they could to always put me and my siblings first before anything. You know, we've never felt neglected. Me and my siblings, we've never felt neglected by our parents. We've never been alone. Even if me and my siblings, and my family, we all live apart now because of studies and other responsibilities. But we have never actually been this close before, even if we are physically far apart.
Are you single? All right, so what qualities are you looking for in a wife?
Yeah, exactly.
When you do decide to get married?
Yes, I am.
Really?
Well, to be honest, it's not something I have given much thought to, but from the top of my head, even learning from what I have been taught by my parents, because my parents also are expert marriage counselors, one thing that I always learn from them through their teaching is that for a marriage or for a partner to be compatible with one, they both have to have an infallible belief and faith in God. And that is the number one need from a partner that I would have in kindness, absolute kindness I would need. Thank you. How do I find studies? Oh, well, my friends, my friends, I believe they all have a pretty similar opinions about me. Most of all my friends will always say I'm the funniest guy. They would always say that. Yeah. Well, to be honest, I've always maybe this is me thinking very big. I've always dreamed of having my own company. To be able to create something that becomes very competitive in the world, movie making, graphic design. My interest, it's a very exciting field, and it's also a very important one. And most people don't actually grasp or understand how important graphic and visual arts are, because in my opinion, I feel that this field is kind of a prophet to the future, or in anything else. Yeah, I always feel that it's something that is important, not only just for the future, but also for the present times that we are as well. Anyone who is working in the visual arts community or field, they can practically go into anything, but at the end of the day, the person who gets the best job is the person who quick thinker and someone who understands stuff quickly.
You know, what type of, let's just say that somebody approached you and said, okay, well, I would like to get into this course. Like, what kind of advice would you give to them? Like, in terms of qualifications, what would they need? And, you know, any extra or additional advice that you'd be able to give them?
Well, I think the number one thing to be able to go into any of the things that I'm doing now, the skills that I would advise a person to have is, first of all, a general passion for the visual arts, which means painting, drawing, technology, films, animation, even also books. Books are incredibly important. Even politics. And I feel like once someone has that passion, going into it would be easier.
Because, the mind is such a fascinating thing to waste. I hate seeing a waste of mind. Any advice for our listeners?
My number one advice is that whatever you decide to do, keep put God first. God is just going to make everything happen for you. And that's how the grace of God works. The amount of faith that you have in the Word of God will always push you to the places that you've always dreamed of. Thank you. It's been a great pleasure.
Welcome to Send Me.
Most people don't actually understand how important graphic and visual arts are, because that is important. A prophet to the future.
Welcome to Send Me.